This is Force 13 Live, into our second hour of coverage for Hurricane Harvey. My name's Nathan Foy. You can't see me, by the way, I'm not here at the moment. But you are looking at what is actually the main event, because we're just here to tell the story of what the storm does over the next few hours live before our eyes and yours. I'm joined by the Skype team, consisting of several people this hour. We are now joined by David, Marcel, Isaac, Craig, Orlando and Cesar. Isaac is in Corpus Christi, Texas, and this is the view from his place right now. Let's begin with Craig, who's just returned, if I may. What are your thoughts right now, and any news from either recon or your observations on the satellite imagery?
Well, I would give you recon, but the damn page just died.
Oh.
Damn it. But I have seen Harvey, and boy is he trying. He is really trying to get an eye out. To be honest, I would not be surprised if he does just fly out an eye, either later tonight. He's probably in the process of actually trying to get that open right now. It's basically one of them ones that could easily happen when we least expected. It could catch us off guard. NOAA 9 for the recon isn't even in the storm yet, and I've already recorded hurricane force winds and upper winds. So
at the upper levels, you say?
Yes, this is an upper level drop zone, but recording hurricane force winds that far out from.
Yep. If you've just
well, it's.
If you've just joined us, I just want to read out the update the National Hurricane Center came out with an hour ago when we started our coverage. Was it an hour ago or was it 2? How long have we been here? An hour. When they did their update, they said that the storm had 85-mile-an-hour winds, a pressure of 979 millibars. Am I right in saying
no, Nathan?
That's gone down, hasn't it?
Yeah, it gone down to 977.
977, the latest, according to the recon flight. A storm surge warning is in effect for Port Mansfield to High Island, Texas. A storm surge watch is in effect for south of Port Mansfield, Texas, to the mouth of the Rio Grande. Hurricane warning. Hurricane warning again? Is that a mistake? They've printed it twice. Oh no. I'm sorry, it's storm surge and hurricane. I'm getting confused with that. Hurricane warning, Port Mansfield to Matagorda, Texas. Tropical storm warning for north of Matagorda to High Island, Texas, south of Port Mansfield, Texas, to the mouth of the Rio Grande. A hurricane watch is in effect for south of Port Mansfield, Texas, to the mouth of the Rio Grande, similar place. Tropical storm watch in effect for south of the mouth of the Rio Grande to Boca de Raton, Mexico. I think everyone is familiar with what all the warnings mean by this point, but if you're not, then just take a look at the graphic on the left-hand side of this screen here, where you can see that major hurricane conditions and hurricane conditions along all of the red areas of the Texan coast there expected within 36 hours. So by the time, what we're looking at here, early hours of Saturday, you will be having hurricane conditions by then, in all likelihood. Same for tropical storm warnings, only it's tropical storm conditions. And, you know, as you can see, I don't know if actually anyone could bring up the time of arrival graphics from the National Hurricane Center as well. That will be quite useful to some people, I believe.
The time of arrival of the latest one, that's an outdated one. I need to close that one down. Try and see if this one's the updated one.
Whilst Craig finds it, I just want to point out the rainfall threat as well, of course, which is a very serious threat. According to the National Hurricane Center, they say that the rainfall will reach 12 to 20 inches and isolated maximums of 30 inches over the middle and upper Texas coast through next Wednesday. And it could be between 5 and 12 inches in far south Texas and the Texas Hill Country to central Louisiana, and accumulations of less than 5 inches expected in other parts of Texas and the lower Mississippi Valley. Rainfall from Harvey, no doubt, is likely to cause life-threatening flooding.
I'd just like to follow on to what you just said. Levi Cowan the owner operator of Tropical Tidbits, he's reinforced the position of the National Hurricane Centre Atlantic and their special discussion. Key points, as we've said, storm surge 6 to 12 feet, rainfall up to 30 inches, winds up to 125 miles per hour, but I think that will rise. And the main points of the centre's discussion is preparations to protect life and property should be completed by tonight.
It's got to be going on now.
And 6 to 12 feet above ground level, storm surge. Heavy rainfall, as Nathan said, 12 to 20 inches with isolated amounts as high as 30 inches from Friday through early next week. And Nathan, Friday through to next week, that is horrendous.
That's a long time.
It is a long time. And thinking about what Harvey is about to do, I cast my mind back to North Queensland here and the rainfall intensity, but 2 feet, 3 feet of water over the next few days. And but our key message is you've got to prepare, you've got to evacuate and listen to all the advisories. And Nathan, you mentioned a few minutes ago the National Weather Service. They too are going to be extremely busy because we could see tornadoes.
Yeah, you could see all sorts. Storm surge, now the high wind speed, the flooding we knew was going to be there, but now accompanied by all of the other issues that may well occur. I believe Marcel is here, and we've not heard from him yet, so what are your thoughts on Harvey, which is intensifying?
A very serious storm, a very serious storm. And that could give catastrophic effects for Texas. And
do you agree with the National Hurricane Centre's intensity projection of 125 miles an hour?
Yes.
Okay.
I think if that rate of intensification stays, I think this could be high-end Cat 4 or a Cat 5.
Now, I want to try and do some math here because there's an echo somewhere as well, by the way. We've been talking about the recon aircraft that's been going through the storm all day, and it's at 977 millibars now. So how far has it gone down in the last, say, 6 hours here?
25 millibars.
Really?
Yes.
If not more than that.
In 6 hours?
So, yeah, in the last 6 hours, since the morning flight, it's
so you're
gone
saying
down.
it was 1002 6 hours ago?
No,
Yeah.
in 6 hours. No, in 6
Well,
hours
not-
it dropped
not now,
about
because-
5 to 10 millibars.
Right.
But in 24 hours it dropped at least 20.
I'm just trying to figure out. Yeah.
So beating Hurricane. What was it called? The one that in 2007 was a record of intensification then. Humberto.
Yeah.
Yeah, Humberto. So it could have broken that record of intensification. Wow.
Yeah. From tropical depression to hurricane, Harvey has now the record right now. Surprising.
So-
Humberto right now.
So if it's gone down 20 millibars in 24 hours, so you're saying it's 1 millibar per hour now? I think it's more than that at the moment, isn't it? 'Cause
It's more than that because
right
it
now,
literally
yeah. Because an
bombed
hour
out.
ago we
Well-
had it at 979.
Well,
and half an hour before
well,
that we had
Recon-
981.
Well, Recon ended up
Oh.
finding before we went live went down to 980, but now it's rocketed. Well, it's pretty much just jumped straight down to 977. So pretty much per pass that the recon does, the storm is pretty much just getting stronger and stronger, and basically deepening rapidly in air pressure. That was the case for pretty much the whole day today.
I mean, if that trend continues, it's going to be in the 930s this time tomorrow.
If that does continue, that could be the likelihood, and if that is the likelihood, well then,
And that is what some of the models are saying, and I don't know if you want to go on to that in this hour.
As soon as I've got nothing going on with the recon, so I'll quickly jump onto there.
Please do. I want Isaac to talk to us about his latest information from Corpus Christi.
I took a picture just now and I sent it in the chat of people evacuating over here. So if someone wants to pull it up on screen share, go ahead. But I'm seeing increasingly more people heed the warnings and evacuate from this storm, and that's pretty much what he should be doing right now. Corpus Christi, as far as I know, can at least see hurricane force gusts from this storm, so it's not a joke, not messing around. So you guys need to prepare, and you need to prepare now while you still can, because you only have pretty much till today to evacuate. After that, you basically have no more time left, and you're there. You have to stay where you're at and write it out as much as you can. Like I said, I took a picture of it, so if someone can pull it up on screen share, go ahead. That's really all I have to say right now. Is just people. All I have to say is just some people are being complacent as well too. I've noticed that, and they need to take into account, even though we haven't seen a landfall here in ages, our time is basically due, sadly, and we can expect at least hurricane force wind gusts with this storm.
A good point raised, by the way. For someone who's not that hurricane savvy, what is the millibar drop supposed to indicate? Well, at the moment, if at this rate, we could be looking at a storm in a 930 millibar range tomorrow, which means that basically it would be probably category 4 intensity is what it means. So at this rate, if the rate of intensification continues into tomorrow, you could be looking at a category 4. Whether it will maintain that that rate remains to be seen. But it is possible. I'd say it's more likely than not. The National Hurricane Center says it will have 120 mile an hour and 25 mile an hour winds at landfall. Let's take a look at those models, Craig.
Yes, this is a GFS. Well, there you can clearly see here. Oh, do you mind? We're trying to do a live event here on a potential impending danger.
Don't worry about it, Craig. They didn't hear that. Get on with it.
Good.
It's my background noise. I turned it off though. In the meantime, anyway, yes. We're disrupting the.
Anyway,
go ahead.
So here's Harvey in the Gulf of Mexico. Currently, according to GFS 986, that's not the case because recon's found at 977 millibars. And you can see here down to 976 and moving to the northwest as the NHC is expecting it to. Now down to 968, a little bit of a westward jog there towards the border. Then continuing to deepen, 964, 956, 938, 943. So there's a very significant category 4 hurricane land.
Basically, that's basically taking the premise that it will continue its rate of intensification there. That's sort of what you'll be looking at.
Yeah, and that's
more further south than the National Hurricane Center's forecast there.
Just a little bit, but it's not by much.
Isn't that? I mean, Isaac, looking at that imagery, isn't that pretty much right next to you?
I can't really get a good look at it right now. It's far away, so I can't really tell.
I think so.
If you get a closer look at it.
Well, there's 930. Where's your 938? So, well,
crazy.
Is roundabout.
That's
not far away. Dear me, that's not far away.
That's crazy.
I think that's
around the Kingsville area of Corpus, not Corpus Christi, to the south of Corpus Christi, I believe, if I have my geography correct. Go ahead, David.
Nathan, I saw a model yesterday down to 912.
Which one was it?
It was most likely the NAM model.
If it begins with M and ends in M.
It might have been. I think it.
All right.
Don't go there.
I did have a look at the NAM, but I'm not going to mention NAM. It provided disturbing picture, but as I just said, I did sight my model down around 912. But
Yeah,
a high range catfall.
that's 912. That's category 5.
well, indeed, worst case scenario right there.
That's
Yeah.
kind
Oh,
of fine.
That's probably.
But it has
Nine-
happened before. We gotta say, it has happened before. Anita.
So here's the ACMWF for Harvey. They're expecting it to continue rapidly deepening, and then a 979 millibar landfall. But this is at 500 millibar height, so let me get the 850, which is the lowest it can go. I don't quite understand why it's only the GFS that does the surface winds rather than anything else. But anyway, not get stuck on that. So 979 millibar category. What's that? Probably category 3 around there in the ground. Maybe category 2. I can't. Let's not get hung up on the strength because it's a hurricane regardless.
Yeah, you see, but I do want you to keep going through that run and through these runs and just see where it ends up.
Yeah. Well, I'll go back to the GFS after the ECMW is complete. So it continued. Well, forecast stalling, or literally right on the coast. So that's pretty
Look
much
at that.
plan.
So that's stalling there for how long? What, 12 hours?
About there. Let's have a look. Oh goodness me, I'm supposed to do that. So there's 72 hours. There's 48. That's 72. So it's stalled there since the 48th hour mark to 72 hours.
So that's like 24 hours, right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Wow.
And then it eventually starts moving, re-strengthening according to the ECMWF, down to 9. And then, whoa, good lord.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Good
Whoa.
lord. 953. Now that on
That's
surface,
nuts.
that's regardless of that, that's a major
Nuts.
hurricane right there.
That
Yes. And then, obviously, landfall.
I really want to show you every
for a
scenario,
recount.
but that's just nuts.
That's probably one of the most, probably one of the worst case scenarios. But
Clearly.
let's get back to the GFS.
ECMW, they're pretty
42
reliable.
hours. Well, mind you, this is the model that did say so and so would get down to so and so.
All right, please. Keep going.
But then again, I don't know how these upgrades work, whether it's just for the Atlantic. So there's the 943 for GFS, there's 953 the weakening, but they expect it to go inland, so they're pretty much agreeing with what the National Hurricane Center is saying, remaining a hurricane as it hovers around Texas and going right down to tropical storm, hovering around deep inland. Still hovering around there for a couple of days, so the rainfall is definitely going to be a very major issue. Near enough degenerating while over land, so that's going to be interesting. Then still sitting there, trying to re-intensify. Actually, that is re-intensifying while just over land, and I think makes landfall pretty much in the same area that the ECMWF has it making landfall in close to New Orleans anyway. Passing over New Orleans with tropical storm force winds, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
So that's possibly a solution there.
Possibly, yes. That the storm remains over land. So this is there's MSLP 850 millibar winds for NavJam. The NavJam, well, to be honest, this is really going to be interesting to see what happens, because this is two models that are basically agreeing on rapid intensification at some point, but then again, ECMWF is a little bit later and a bit more aggressive in the latter stages of Harvey. But as far as we know, as we've seen so far, GFS is the outstanding aggressor for Harvey. So here you can see NavJam moving Harvey towards the Texas coast, rapidly intensifying that 985, 987 landfall. Stalling as well, right on the coast, maybe just over the coast, just inland, and then weakening substantially, as you'd expect, because it's overland, near enough degenerating, holding some tropical storm force winds, stalling a little bit just as it's on the Mexico border, and then we're heading back out into the Gulf of Mexico, re-intensifying yet again, and then becoming a hurricane yet again, and then heading for possibly maybe a Texas, Louisiana landfall, very, very close, right on the border, but no landfall confirmed from there yet on NavGem. This is really going to be interesting to see what Harvey does after landfall, but
it's so varying in between models.
It's gonna be close, yeah, because you've got the certain, you've got the agreement that you're getting with, your current trend that Harvey's doing right now. So you're getting that general agreement, but then you've got to wait to see. Well, you're going to look to see what it's going to do after that, after landfall. Will it come back or will it just go off and die? So that's going to be the question.
Craig, I want to bring you back to the models in just a moment. First of all, I want to show everyone the latest GOES 16 rapid fire imagery here. And you can see how the storm, first of all, I'm not sure what direction it's moving.
Nor am I.
It would appear to me in those late frames that it's moving west.
I have no idea.
Maybe west-north.
It's really hard to tell.
David?
If we go back 24 hours, Harvey was behaving very erratically with the direction that he was doing it. I think he might be doing it again.
Well, it was moving east of forecast initially, and now it just appears
northeast.
I mean, these frames only cover I think there are 40 images in this loop, so that covers a 40-minute period. So it's not a long time to look at, but it would appear that briefly, I mean, it's very easy when we're doing this live coverage to get hooked up on a very short-term jog when the actual direction could revert back towards northwest, but it does appear in those latest frames it's sort of west-northwest at best. But it does appear to be really blowing up in those latest frames too.
Yeah, which is very concerning, and with a slightly clouded, overcast eye, and it's been present near enough all day.
And has Recon got any news at all? 977 millibars is the latest that they got in the last half hour. Any lower?
Well, I'm just going to reload up that page. Oh, this is really
keeping Craig busy over there.
I've been busy all day.
I have
no
some
pass-throughs as yet.
Do you?
No pass-through Harvey as of yet, but the NOAA 2 is getting ready to do another pass in from the west, going to the east. So this is going to be very interesting to see what they find after that. I wonder what the upper level reconnaissance. Remember, AF309 is finished because that's not updated in a long while. So here's the NOAA 9. No idea what on earth it's doing. I think it's trying to do a windbar mustache, but it might be just trying to do its flight path and how it was ordered to do it.
David, did you have something for us there? I hate to interrupt, but
yes, Portland, Texas is now it's joined the list of cities under mandatory evacuation. The Corpus Christi city is the same. Its mayor is urging residents to evacuate. This is 1:58 p.m. Thursday. The mayor has announced it's only a voluntary evacuation.
In Corpus Christi.
Corpus Christi.
Obviously that's where Isaac is.
The government is providing assistance for people who are unable to leave their own. Texas people in zones A and B in Corpus Christi who need evacuation help can go to the CC public transit bus stop for evacuation. Oil, gas companies have shut down operation in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's according to Reuters. And various school districts in Texas have also announced closures through Monday in preparation for Harvey. Some campuses have sent students home early Thursday, Peoria County. All campuses closed Friday due to the weather. Alvin ISD, Angleton ISD, BISD, CBISD, Ingleside ISD sent home staff and campuses are closed. And I
Crazy.
believe that schools up in Houston have closed too, or will close.
You can again see on this real close-up imagery of the Ghost 16 satellite, the fantastic imagery that it shows of not such a fantastic situation, and that is the gravity of how close it is to land right now. You can just about see the very edge, the peripheral bands, the cirrus bands, moving over land. And the real core of the storm you can just about see on the far right-hand side, and that the real rough weather can't be more than 200 miles away from the border, Rio Grande.
Nathan, I've got a bit more information clarifying the Houston school districts across the Houston area are considering whether to close Monday. And Rockport,
Yeah.
in Texas,
Yep.
they're issuing mandatory
Yeah, I
evacuations.
thought that was the case. I did hear of that
Yep.
earlier, I believe. Is that a large-scale one, or?
I'm not sure, Nathan, but Calhoun County under mandatory evacuations. Port Aransas, ARANSAS has ordered.
This is an
mandatory
Australian
evacuation.
reading out American names after all.
Yes, it's Australian. I'm getting better. I am getting better. San Patricio County,
Right.
under mandatory evacuation.
All right.
And
We'll find.
people were stocking up on emergency supplies.
Try and find us some more news whilst you're there, David. In the meantime, Craig, I just wanted to break that up a little bit because some people don't want to look at models for a whole half hour. But take us through what else we've got here.
Yeah, this is the HWRF, aka from last year, the God model, which to be honest, I don't really call it the God model, I just call it a normal computer model. So you can see HWRF predicting more deepening. Now they're already forecasting. There's Category 1, there's a little fluctuations as they always forecast. They're never really consistent. Then a strong Category 1, Category 2, close to Category 2, so there's at least a Category 1 landfall on Corpus, what looks to be Corpus, and a 959 millibar. So I don't know whether whether people like to go with the wind speed or air pressure, but the pressure and wind speed do not normally run with the air pressure rather than wind speed, because obviously wind speeds and air pressure, you can have say 940 millibars and it's only saying Category 1. So, but here's HWR forecasting it to move in well deep in the land. They'll hold pretty decent. No, and then it just goes, no, I'm just going to retreat back out over the Gulf of Mexico. Pretty much, and then regains tropical storm status for a little bit, and then, well, to be continued. HMON, I don't know why I still got Kenneth on it because it's dead. The new kid on the block. It's not been bad this year. I gotta give it.
Doing a good job.
Oh my. So here's HMON so far.
What?
Yeah, let's just draw that. Let's just draw a veil over that, shall we? Pretend, and that let's just leave that in the darkness. Let's just pretend that never happened. So here's the HMON. They are saying that that Gert, God's sake, now you got me doing it. Harvey. Let's try that again. Harvey deepening at a rather alarming rate down to 948, 939, 932, 924, rises up a little bit. Yeah. And then a 930 millibar Category 4.
mid-range to high-end Category 4. So seeing at least 2 models saying that, it's genuinely alarming. Seeing at least 2 models starting to say, you might start thinking about, well, we're starting to think about a very significant hurricane here. Might not happen, but it's still a possibility if it keeps up this intensification rate with its air pressure, if it keeps this up. But HMON... Oh no! Sends it over Mexico. See, there has to be that. Yeah, and then trying to go over over into the EFAC, but doesn't make it. So that's what H won't think. See if this GFS has anything different, because sometimes these models have something different compared to what the actual other model run has. I hate it when it starts at 126 plus hours, so it's rather annoying. So here's 0 hour, current hour for GFS on Harvey. Yeah, it's 993, so that's pretty much outdated as far as I know, that information. But then they have it deepening 954, 937. 941, so that's a 941 millibar. So that's at least 2. Well, that's 2 GFSs. Oh god, let's stay away from that. What was I doing? Or do we want to delve? Yeah, let me get that up. And a basic easier basis. So here you can see the current information on Harvey. 75 maximum wind speed to 75 knots, gusts of 90 knots, maximum or minimum central pressure 979 millibars. That should be 977. Yeah. So here's the intensity guidance. I'll be wanting 18Z if that's out. Yes. So here's some of the models that. Oh, good grief. Okay, so Category 4 is now in the question, and that's not good to see Category 4, let alone Category 3 at all. Major in general is very alarming. A lot of models into Category 3, some at least 1 or 2, maybe 2 going into Category 4 and then just delving off a cliff because of landfall. But some of them are saying that it might regenerate when it leaves the Gulf Coast. So that, as far as at the end parts of the model runs, that's where it will be interesting. God knows where that statistical model gets its information from, but that's clearly not the case. Yeah, outnumbered quite considerably. That's generally the thing. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that we will see a scenario like that because of the rate of intensification of Harvey. Well, I don't know. It's practically repeating, but we must just insist on this because after not seeing a hurricane.
I'm sorry, I was muted. It sounded like you were talking to yourself, but then anyway, keep going.
As I was saying, a storm that is threatening Texas and the United States, I must say, like that since practically a decade ago, it's something really concerning, and practically it's like a test of how the security in the United States has improved in terms of natural disasters. So I just I don't know really what to say. I'm just practically I'm hoping that everybody there that will have at least direct effects.
Now, I just got to point out, we're looking at 92L model guidance here. That's the one on the western coast of Florida. You can see the outlier there saying nearly Category 2. Don't look at that one.
Well, really... actually, it's not near. It's just outside of Category 2. It's high in Category 1, pretty much. You could pretty much call it a Category 2.
And the ship for 5 days, the second one there as well. They're both probably as irrelevant as each other. First of all, they don't even factor in the Florida landfall, it would seem.
Or unless these ones here, the ones that that are mapping in. These probably are mapping in, say, the extratropical transition.
The most you could hope, the most you could think for is a minimal tropical storm from 92L.
Minimal if it's lucky, as far as I can see. But I'm not. Maybe it might develop when it gets onto the other. Well, on the eastern side of Florida, it might have a small hope, but
right,
it's a bit questionable. I don't know whether anyone's had a quick glance at any other stuff. I know we've covered 92L as our main concentration point as Harvey. Meanwhile, Hato is pretty much dead, so we don't need to cover that.
Well, I want to read out some more stuff now, Craig.
Yeah, sure,
about
go ahead.
The wind probabilities, just in case anyone was wondering. The latest from the National Hurricane Center. Brownsville, 71% chance of tropical storm conditions, 14% chance of hurricane conditions. Harlingen, Texas, 73% chance of tropical storm conditions, 13% chance hurricane. McAllen, Texas, where we saw the webcam earlier, 61% chance tropical storm, 5% chance hurricane. Corpus Christi, 95% chance tropical storm, 52% chance hurricane. Rockport, Texas, 99% chance tropical storm, 69% chance hurricane. Port O'Connor is the same. Matagorda, Texas, 97% chance of tropical storm conditions, 51% chance of hurricane. High Island, 66% chance tropical storm, 9% chance hurricane. Freeport, 92% chance tropical storm, 29% hurricane. Austin, 72% chance tropical storm, 8% hurricane. Houston, 81% chance tropical storm, 11% hurricane. And Galveston, 79% tropical storm chance, 15% chance of a hurricane. So quite a lot of places with high chances there.
Yes. Meanwhile, I know we are mainly covering Harvey, but just to let everyone know, there is a tropical storm now active in the Western Pacific. Do ignore this. This is outdated now because I've just seen on Tropical Tidbits that 16W is now a tropical storm with winds of 40 miles per hour, and the forecast track you saw there has 16W becoming a tropical storm and then it making a landfall.
Oh, just right now?
I'm sorry, yes. that was on mute as well. I must correct myself because I was adjusting things back here and it made a noise and didn't want anyone to hear it. But just to confirm, Tropical Storm Pakhar has formed in the Western Pacific right now with a pressure of 1,000 millibars and winds of 40 miles an hour. That's breaking news just east of the Philippines.
And yes. Philippine name Jolene. Wow.
Indeed.
And the current forecast is, well, I know it's outdated because it says tropical depression, but the current forecast has it becoming, but it is already a tropical storm, and then making landfall as a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm.
And it will strike Hong Kong as well as a typhoon.
That could well be a typhoon.
Yeah, missing just to the southwest of Hong Kong. As a 75-mile-per-hour Category 1 typhoon. Now that'll be the second typhoon landfall in China within the space of a week since Hato made landfall as a Category 2 typhoon, very close to Hong Kong. In fact, making landfall in Macau.
I think it was a Category 3.
You think it was a Cat 3?
Yes, Hato reached Category 3 status.
Yes, there was something about that by JTWC upping the ante for its peak intensity to be put up to Category 3, 115 miles per hour. I think 100 miles an hour was fair for it.
Alright, let's continue to look at the Ghost 16 imagery
point.
on Harvey right now. I don't know if anyone can see the view that we're looking at here in the room, but if you can, what do you think of it right now? And a little indentation on sort of the northeastern part of the big flare-up, and whether the convection might be displaced to the west and southwest, because that little indentation there, which could suggest the eye, appears to be moving northwest.
So we'll see if I can get 16 to load, see if I can see for myself as well. Come on, go 16, come on!
We can just watch our stream. But never mind that.
I don't want to...
I think, Harvey, this is a very serious storm. I think, again, all people that are living in Corpus Christi and Victoria and Port Lavaca and all that coast should evacuate.
Yeah.
Or if you can't evacuate, prepare and contact you.
Yeah.
And go to a shelter.
And we heard earlier from David about the evacuations, and we'll hear from him again a little later on what the latest is. And we always have to reiterate the news, because we always get new people coming along. But that is the latest from Craig's image, and I just want to show you another view which has Harvey in relation to the coast of Texas, which you saw earlier. But this imagery is updating all the time, so we'll probably see something new every time that we look at these images, as long as we have daylight. Here's the latest then from the Texas related orientated view, and you can see the coastline there and the storm, the edge of the storm on the far right hand side of the image, still under all that cirrus banding, and looks like some more potent rain showers are on the way to extreme southern Texas and the border area with Mexico.
Looking
and
at
I'll
the
try
last
and get
few images,
I'll try and get radar for you as well.
It wouldn't surprise me in the last few images if this is the eye now starting to really clear out, because what looks like, because the shear, it's not displaced, the convection is now starting to wrap round again. It's starting to have a little convectional burst.
So it's going to do another little wrapping round feature, isn't it?
Yes, it's doing that right. It's pretty much doing that right now, and you can see there in the last image. Let's just try and get that. If I wish the page would load quicker. Come on. Snails can move faster.
So this
I know I like Go 16. Come on,
Marcel.
So I think this storm could bring this catastrophic flooding and storm surge to that part of the Texas coast.
David.
Yes.
Look at the nav gem guesses there.
Yeah, so Nathan, just looking at that last image, there's the eye. That's looking a lot more clear. That's actually starting to look a little bit more clear than what it was earlier on. That's very concerning, because there's that strong convectional burst.
Yeah, look at
that. God.
Here's the National Weather Service radar right now I want to cut to here, and you can see from what I delineated earlier, the area of rainfall that's just off the coast near Brownsville now, and some rainfall already has been moving through today, but more is going to arrive shortly. Could possibly be squallish in some areas just north of Brownsville by the looks of things, and maybe a few washing up just south of Corpus Christi as well. But the eye wall might just about be appearing on that radar there if you're looking.
Just looking at the last recon. Recon's just about to come up to the to a new.
Oh no, this is interesting.
Already rapidly closing up. And if the air pressure is right at the minute, saying 977 according to recon, then that wouldn't surprise me if the eye's now starting to clear out, because the pressure is now going to start getting low enough that the eye can now start clearing out, and that's bad news for any form of land is in the path of Harvey, Texas, please monitor the storm with extreme caution, because a dangerous situation, and I cannot stress that enough. This is an extremely dangerous situation. Right. Please listen to all advisors that come out of the National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service, and please tune into either the Weather Channel.
It's becoming more and more apparent with every image, Craig, and I think in another 15 minutes you're going to see something.
Yeah,
everyone's going to see
I think if this is the case, then that means the storm could be deeper than 977, and I am not kidding. If that's the case, then RI is now fully underway, well and truly, and that's an understatement.
Of course, Force 13 uses its own methods as well for measuring a storm's intensity, and we might have something too. And of course, we measure the distance at every hour as well from those populated places, that we can give you the very latest at the top of every hour. There'll be another one of those updates in just 13 minutes time. Well, in the meantime, by the way, if you've got any comments or questions for us, it's not a completely one-sided chat here. You can send your messages in. Start your message with Force 13 all in text. We'll endeavour to answer as many many questions as possible. If not, we do have Strat on hand, one of our members who is in the room at the moment, as far as I know. He was there not long ago, so I'm sure he'll be happy to answer some of your questions as well. He was on our stream during our Matthew coverage, and hopefully he'll be there. But if not, we are.
I will not be surprised if the Hurricane Hunters find 973, 972 millibars.
Well, that's the thing, though, Marcel. That this thing could easily be deeper than that, because if we do the maths again, if it's deepening, say, well, go over this. It's been deepening the last 3 millibars within the past, say, an hour and a half or so. If this thing could be down to 974, maybe even beyond that. It might have gone down even further. You never know. It could be down doing 10 millibar drops per hour. You never know until we get that next recon pass. This is now starting to turn into a, well, now as the day's gone on, and I know a lot of people on the live event and watching the storm in general will probably agree with me that during the day this storm has gotten worse in terms of conditions on land, in terms of odds for land, and it's getting worse and worse, and Harvey's looking better and better with every frame, every pass from recon. This, as we said, when we come to the conclusion, this thing could actually reach Category 4, and I don't want to raise alarm, but this is a possibility.
It's very level-headed, to be honest, because National Hurricane Center says officially they think it's going to be just 5 miles an hour shy of that. It doesn't take much of a push.
No. It could literally just jump. It could literally do the inevitable and just jump from 1 to 4, but I doubt that will happen.
What?
But, yeah, that's why I said I doubt. I said doubt that would happen.
It's hardly inevitable then.
If it did, I would jump out my window right behind me. If it did.
Okay.
I think we're not knowing. In this moment, this thing can be right now a Cat 2.
He's got a point.
Right now, I wouldn't bet on it.
No,
but he does have a point, because it could easily be. But we'll wait and see what this next recon pass has, because as looking at this recon, it looks like it's actually starting to find, say, what's that, 83 knot to 96 knot range.
Really?
So
watching the latest imagery of Harvey, well, the satellite imagery, it really looks amazing how the eye is trying really hard to appear, because it's just a signal how fast it's intensifying. So I will not be surprised, honestly, that we will see Harvey as a Category 2 in the next hours, because this thing is really intensifying quickly. It's just turning into a monster, or it's already, or already it is.
Okay, pass complete from recon. Not much to go on from what I'm seeing off of that.
Looks like they just north of the center there, if anything.
Yeah, maybe just north of it. But they will be doing another pass. They'll probably do another eastern. They're coming in from the east and then go to the west. So they'll do an eastern entrance of the storm. So they'll keep doing the pass until they basically find higher wind speeds.
As you
They're
can
probably
see,
going to be doing this.
More and more apparent that that indentation there is the eye.
Yeah, the clear area is now definitely the eye starting to clear as this pressure is dropping. This eye is not hanging about anymore. This eye is now starting to get the air pressure that it needs to try and clear out. And the more it does that, the more likely that it's going to have the chance to get even stronger than it already is. That if that wasn't already the case, then well, it certainly is now. As I'll reiterate again, if it's been dropping 3 millibars per hour,
we're talking 3 now.
Yeah, because it went down from 980 to 977 in that last recon drop zone. But if it's doing that, God knows what pressure it could be at now, because the eye is now going to start getting air pressure that it needs to try and at least clear out in some shape or form, which it's alarming regardless because of how quick this thing has just blown up.
And 1 or 2 people suggesting Category 5. I would say it's unlikely given where it is. It has happened before in the past. It's been quite a long time though.
Yeah, stranger things have happened, but the chances of that happening though are probably about 0%.
Near 0%.
But
who keeps going on the water?
Looking at that there, I have no idea.
The background.
But looking at that last Go 16 imagery, it wouldn't surprise me if he's now going to try and either get a pinhole out. In fact, talking of pinholes, let's actually have a look at microwave imagery, because I guarantee you now that there will be one.
Space says it could be a Wilma scenario. I don't think.
Oh no!
Wilma didn't go
No.
Wilma didn't go anywhere near here.
Wilma.
Right. How far is this hurricane from hitting Texas? Another question. In distance, well, that depends. About 250 miles. In time, around 36
At least 24 hours.
Yeah.
Oh no, yes. Around 30 to 36 hours. It depends how fast or how slow moves Harvey. If it's going to start to slow down or to accelerate. But yeah, well, right now it's about 335 miles southeast of Port O'Connor, Texas, and 325 miles of southeast of Fort Mansfield, Texas. So yeah, it's about around 30 to 36 hours from landfall.
And you can see it detailed on the National Hurricane Center's tracking chart there. They think the storm will make landfall in the early hours of Saturday, probably around dawn, it says at the moment. That could change at short notice. And as you can see, there is still a lot of uncertainty about it, especially beyond the 3-day period, into that 5-day period, which is that sort of dashed area, dotted area in the big circle almost. They don't know which direction it's going to go after that 3-day period.
Okay, so Archer didn't have any microwave imagery out, so it's probably going to be due out the next update, I'd hope. Because it's really going to be interesting, unless I can use Ram's imagery, unless it's happening. Yeah, that's the latest.
So nothing from Recon just now?
No, nothing up from Recon as of yet.
Oh, there's another image, kind of image that we've not seen. We should take a look at some more infrared on Harvey, by the way. That isn't Harvey, that's the new Storm Bakar.
That's Bakar.
Yeah, we should take a look at Harvey on the infrared just to see what its structure looks like in maybe a different light.
Yes, let's shine a light on the situation.
Because a storm can always be pretty deceiving on visible. Usually infrared brings you down to earth.
Or is that out? What's that? What was the latest Go 16 timestamp just before I
Again, you can see that eye trying to come out there.
Yeah.
It's pretty decent size. That's pretty alarming, especially with the strong western side of the eye wall and now a developing eastern side, and with a developing eye now. So that should now allow it to strengthen again and then probably bulk out a little bit and joining up to this other area of convection. So that's now going to be a major concern from here on out, in my opinion.
It's honestly terrifying, but also amazing how fast this thing was able to intensify in such a quick rate.
Oh, it's intensified at an alarming rate, is in my mind, and probably in everyone else's mind as well.
On that note, we'll take a break. We'll be back again in a few minutes with more on Harvey at the top of the hour, coming up to 8 PM UTC, and the National Hurricane Centre will have another update in just over an hour. Stay tuned. This is Force 13 Live. More on Harvey to follow in just a few minutes. Coverage continues in a moment.